am suggesting that it's unrealistic to think that in a city the size of Dallas, that all 838,000 people are of one opinion on any given subject, and that in one particular part of town where the population might be sufficient for a district, 100,000 or so, that the overwhelming opinion about a particular matter in that district might be just the opposite of what the prevailing opinion was citywide. And certainly in a democracy, that point of view has a right to be represented. And it seems to me that we can more adequately achieve that right of representation by a combination of the 8 individual member districts, with the other 3 being elected at large, and I would urge you to do so.
The question was, should we continue the present system of elected councilors? 58.1% said yes.
The other said no.
Now, the next question, you see, here's where we say we might have rephrased the question a little differently. The second question was, should candidates be subject to vote of only their district? And then in parentheses, we said single-member districts. And there we had 49.5 said yes to that.
Mr. Mayor, I think the conflict on that is that a lot of people are under the impression that we have places now, and the man has to live in that place to be elected from it. He has to reside in the place he's elected from. And a lot of people confuse that with single-member districts, I think. They think that means single-member districts, and they're in favor of continuing that.
According to democratic theory, public decisions are made by representatives of the people who alone possess fundamental power to govern. If the people do not agree with the decisions our representatives reach, they simply remove them from office and replace them with others who make the right decisions. These representatives, in short, are accountable to the people for what they do or what they fail to do. The first thing he must know, a citizen must know, before he can hold his council member accountable, is precisely who his council member is. And before he can know who his council member is, he has to have one, not 2 or 10, but one. If the black and brown minorities in Dallas ever expect to gain their proportionate share of city council seats in order to represent their own interests, then we must have single-member districts. My plan, dubbed the People's Plan, calls for 10 individual districts with a mayor running at large. Of the 10 districts, 4 are majority black and brown, ranging from 66% to 76%. Since the black and brown communities comprise 33% of the Dallas population, that means, to be fair, 4 out of 11 council members should be minority members. The opposition would argue that since blacks comprise 25% of the Dallas population, that 2 out of 8 seats is proportionate representation. Let me refute that argument by saying that there are 11 decision makers, including the mayor, on the city council. 33% minority representation would comprise more than 3.5 seats. There is nothing inherently wrong with a slight amount of over-minority representation on the council. At least the Dallas power structure seems to feel nothing is wrong with over-representation as long as it is white, as it's been in the past. This feeling has led whites to assume what has been known as the white man's burden. And whites have indeed been benevolent in dictating the people of color in Dallas, Texas. In the last several decades, however, people realize that such a burden can become unduly tiring, and what I propose here in the People's Plan is immediate relief.